I work at a daycare for monsters. Working at a daycare for monsters isn't always easy, especially when your demon manager has you pinned to the wall by her claws. This is all because you forgot to lock up the daycare the way she wanted you to. I'm sorry, I pleaded, trying not to move my neck too much in any direction. If I did move too much, I'd be cut by my manager's razor-sharp claws. She had me standing there on my tippy toes. She leaned in close toward me and looked in my eyes with her pitch-black ones. She opened her mouth slightly, her steamy breath hitting my face, making my eyes water. Her tongue, which glowed red-hot like lava, slithered out of her mouth. She held her molten hot tongue centimeters from my left eye. I was so scared she'd gouge my eye out that I couldn't breathe. She held her tongue there for only a few seconds before all at once ripping herself away from me, causing me to fall to the floor with a thud. Be more careful, mortal. If one of your kind manages to get into my night care, I'll eat them in front of you, while they're still alive, she growled. I nodded frantically. I know she meant it. I'm sorry, ma'am, it won't happen again. I apologized. She grinned, seeing how scared I was. After looking down at me a few seconds longer, she slowly walked away, to her side of the night care for monsters. I finally took a deep breath once my manager finally left. I got up. I turned my head to check the time and winced. I felt a cut on my neck. I must have flinched when she stuck her tongue out. I got my bag and pulled out some bandages, applying them quickly before my manager could see. This wasn't the first time she had done something like this to me, and frankly I was used to it. In the 3 months I've been here, she has afflicted my one and only job onto me more times than I could count. During my first lunch at the night care, she cut my hands wide open when she went to hand me the little monster's intestines and eyeballs. I'd imagine in a normal daycare that would be spaghetti and meatballs, and didn't wait to pull her retractable claws back. The blood got all over the monster's food. They seemed to love my blood. My manager reminded me that it was my job to give my blood to the monsters. I told her I couldn't do it every day, and she smiled at me. You're funny, mortal. Any blood you spill belongs to me and this night care. You know that. She pointed at me. Your blood is my blood. She walked away. I knew she was right, but I still hated it. There was another time my manager put me in my place when I was watching the monsters outside. It was a cold, stormy night, perfect for the monsters. Two werewolf brothers were having a blast playing skull, which is like soccer but you kick a skull instead of a soccer ball. They wanted me to play with them, and I agreed. I was having fun when my manager came outside. Her favorite monster, a little rock girl, had put a pine cone in her mouth. My vampire coworker was supposed to be helping me watch the kids, but she was busy on her phone texting her vampire boyfriend. What's going on here? My manager asked, picking up the rock baby and taking the pine cone. You're supposed to be watching them, she yelled at us. Her sharp, pointed tail shot towards me suddenly and pierced my thigh. I yelped, and she couldn't hold back a smile as she pulled back her tail that was now dripping with my blood. She put her tail in the rock baby's mouth, singing a song in a distorted voice in a language I couldn't understand. The rock baby loved it and cooed away. I stood there in pain and confusion. After a minute of the singing, she put the rock baby down, yelled at us to watch the rock baby, and went inside. I looked at my vampire coworker. She didn't bat a glowing eye. I hated when my manager took my blood in such painful ways, but I knew things would be a lot worse if I didn't let her.